And welcome to the show. What's up, everybody? Hope everybody's having a wonderful night. It is Saturday night and the feeling's right. Saturday night. Just played a bunch of Arc Raiders, made it to level 10. It was fantastic. Had so much fun. Great game. Jeebers creepers. What are we talking about tonight? We are talking about how basically people like to think everything's greener on the other side. I grew up in California. I'm wearing a Seattle shirt. We never lived there. It is all completely blue and completely methed out of its mind. Problem with the Pacific Northwest is they have these seasonal depressions, so it drives people nuts. Just like up in Alaska, the murder rate up there is off the hook because everybody drinks and everybody's sad. We're all sad. We're all emotional sad up there. But this is so true. Democrats moving to red states and then continuing to vote the way that they lived in that blue state. And it is so horrific and so stupid. It's like, well, I moved out of here because of the taxes, the yada, yada, yada. Oh, look at these people. I just don't agree with them. So I'm just going to continue to vote like that. But big thing about California is they have Prop 9. They have Prop 9, where when you buy a house, your property taxes are frozen upon the purchase of the property. I used to be a realtor back in Chico, California, so that is how I know. And I live in Colorado, and we have the most houses that we've had on the market in the past 5 years because 0% interest rates have driven every price through the roof. The roof is on fire. Yes, it is. It has driven the prices through the roof because what those blue states did, clever, is they pissed off all the moderates. They pissed off all the Republicans and the Democrats. They pissed them off. They moved them out. And with California, since your property taxes are frozen, now those properties. Let's get a little this beautiful background. These properties are now jacked up in value because, $350,000 house now worth $700,000 for some reason because someone lived in it. They didn't have to do anything in it, do it. They just lived in it because they're locked in at 2%, 2.4% with their golden handcuffs, finger cuffs. And but with California, you're locked in, but your property taxes are frozen. But most other states, you buy in and that property value shoots up, and then your property taxes are like, well, you just did not, I didn't do anything. I just bought the house or just lived in it, and it adjusts with the value. But those values are not holding because most metros are way down. But will the property taxes match? Probably not. They'll probably stay up unless you file a grievance. And that is the disgusting part of the Democratic anomaly that we call people that vote with their feelings instead of their facts. Facts don't cash checks. Facts cash checks. Feelings are just feelings. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't have time for feelings. More people have time for facts because that's what backs up the checks. Checks aren't based off of feelings. Unless unless it's divorce, then that's based off of feelings. Oh, honey, half. Oh, I was sad. Yeah, it's all feelings. It's all emotional terrorism, And that's what the Democrats bring, emotional terrorism, when they move into a state that's based off of facts. This state that's based off of industrialization, oil, and all that fun stuff they bring in. Oh, well, what about the greyhounds? What about the gray wolves? Or what if the lake turns blue because of too much oil from you? And so on and so forth. It's like Colorado used to be a huge oil state, but then all the blue people, all the Smurfs moved in. Papa Smurf, we need to change this because this is making me angry and upset. Papa Smurf, will you change this? Because Gargamel, the Republicans are Gargamel. Gargamel's coming, oh my god. Feelings. Gargamel's like, I just want to be friends. No, Gargamel's gonna get us. Papa Smurf. Yeah. Papa Smurf, yes. Gavin Newsom as Papa Smurf. Oh, Gavin Newsom is Papa Smurf. Papa Smurf, will you save PGD, please, and bankrupt everybody with their power bills, because California has the second highest power bills in the entire country outside of Hawaii, and Hawaii is an island, and it's also a blue state. But Hawaii has a lot of thermal power, but the natives do not allow them to get into the volcanic thermal power because it might make the gods restless. And, to each their own. It's just basically there as a tourist attraction / strategic asset of the Pacific Ocean to fight off the Chinese and all of the Eastern Hemisphere. Western Hemisphere means Eastern Hemisphere. That's why we have Guam and all that fun stuff. That's one of the reasons why we want Greenland. But I'm totally off topic. Papa Smurf is Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom is Papa Smurf. It's just so funny. It's crazy that we live here on this tiny little speck ran by a bunch of pedophiles. Pederasses. It's very unfortunate. It's very sad. It's ran by a bunch of pederasses, and we have to put up with it. And we have to have a little bit of fun, because we don't have fun, we will go nuts. And that is why we have the bread and circus of the foosball. And that's just how it goes. So, I even have this little space needle. Look at this. Oh, look, it matches the shirt. I have the souvenir. Yes. Also went to Rome. Have a little statue. Yes. Went to Mexico. This is from Mexico. Little trinkets that I have by my computer. And this is just a goat. Yes. That is also by my computer when I'm losing my mind. But then I am the Dark Knight. I have little Spider-Man. Yes. Batman. Batman. Don't have my Spider-Man. So, yes. But Papa Smurf of the West, Gavin Newsom, basically tricked everybody to move out of California, pissed everybody off. And all those people with those frozen property taxes are like, oh, okay, well, now your house is worth $1 million. So the next, Gen Z milquetoast eating Gen Z person is going to float into that house and like, oh, $1 million, this is kind of cheap. Well, now their property taxes are $1 million. What? We got the person, the Alex has been living there since the 90s, bought for $350. Now we get to read that thing up for $1 million. And that, my friend, is why this is so silly. Because most Democrats that are leaving are moderates. they're moderates, but they're still Democrats, so they still have the blue itch on their butthole. They still have the, have the itchy blue butthole from taking it for so many years from Papa Smurf. They still have that itch, so they come over here and they don't have a Papa Smurf anymore, but they have feelings, and they bring their feelings into hard facts. And that, my friend, is why Colorado is purplish blue. Because everybody from those blue states that had the blue itchy butthole came over here, and instead of just putting powder out, they just continue to complain with their feelings. And it's unfortunate because most of these red states, besides, Mississippi, Arkansas, the usual, like, I don't know if anybody wants to live there, but that's just like generational, like oil and generational sorrow and poverty, which is unfortunate because down by the bayou, is it's probably pretty nice down there. But I've been to New Orleans. It was a lot of fun, but I would never want to live there because it is below sea level, and that is dangerous. It's very, very, very unfortunate what happened to New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina. I actually had a friend that was living there at the time and spent time in the Superdome, and he came back and he had some stories. Pretty crazy stuff. But that's what happens when you're in a fight or flight like that. That's what happens when society breaks down. That's why you have to be prepared. That's why you have to beware of the Smurfs. Because the Smurfs, they aren't prepared. They are not prepared. They're afraid of their own shadows for the most part. That's why they dress up in black and they run around basically in cosplay, which is Antifa. It's we're going to get some Nazis. We're going to get the Nazis. No, you're not getting the Nazis. And the Nazis came over here, Operation Paperclip, and went to Argentina. That's why they speak German down there for the most part. You're not going to get that. The Bolsheviks, we don't talk about the Bolsheviks that came from Rome, that went over to Venice, to Amsterdam, loaded up the gold, and went over to Russia, and then killed 60 million plus people, and then they got the little land in the Middle East, and now they get to dictate to us all using Jeffrey Epstein and people like Epstein to blackmail everybody. And if you don't think that's true, I'm sorry, but it is. And that's why Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton are in the doghouse right now. Because he flew on the plane. That's why Kevin Spacey and Tom Hanks is a little bit gross. I never thought that was going to be a thing, but it is. And people stand up for these people. The Smurfs stand up for these actions, and it is disgusting. The only reason why the Smurfs care about the Epstein files and all that is because they think that they can get Trump with a pitchfork, which, they were friends. They rubbed elbows because he was a part of the New York party, and that's just the way it is. He was a part of New York City, and New York City was a part of him. That's why he rebuilt New York City with Rudy Giuliani, the stop and frisk and all that fun stuff, building those big old buildings. That's what built his wealth. He filed for bankruptcy. Something. Well, you don't take a chance. You gotta take a chance. If you don't take a chance, you never figure anything out. You play safe all your life. You don't take any risks. You just stay in one spot. And sometimes it pays off. In my case, it did pay off. I stood in one spot for 25 years. It worked out for me. But it doesn't work out that way for a lot of people. A lot of people get burnt at the end. A lot of people just end up just with a lot of regret because they didn't take a chance. We end up with regret because we don't make sacrifices for the greater good for ourselves. And that is detrimental to an individual and to a society in general if we do not take chances, because we must take chances. And it's like Plato's cave. It's like you dance in the shadows. The light goes out. When one of these days the light will go out and there won't be any shadows, and then you're just stuck in the dark. Plato's cave is a crazy analogy. It's such a crazy thing. It's like when a bunch of rats are trying to escape a bucket of water. I've never done this, never will. They won't work together. They will fight each other to get out of the bucket instead of coming together and working their way out. And then the Plato's cave analogy is the exact same thing as the rats in the bucket. And that's how the Smurfs work, because they are based off of feelings. They're about like a bunch of rats in the bucket trying to get out, but they'll never get out because they are kept there by their rat kings and their Papa Smurfs. Thanks for watching the Patriot Richard Show. I hope you enjoyed this. A little long-winded, but I hope you enjoyed the scenery. I like this channel. I like the scenery. It's cool. It's something to look at instead of just my mug, which I'm a little sexy, but hey, it is what it is. I like a little scenery, But anyway, you guys have a wonderful night. Happy Saturday. I'm doing a sober Saturday because Thursday I tore it up a little much, and I hurt myself. I say I hurt myself. It wasn't really worth it. But tomorrow I might have a burger and beer. Watch the Niners play. Who the Niners playing tomorrow? I don't know who the Niners are playing. I don't have my phone. But yeah, I'm gonna watch some football, have some little bit of junk food, and get ready for the week. And it's supposed to snow and rain here tomorrow, so it should be a pretty good day at the car wash. But anyway, you guys have a wonderful night. Thanks for watching. Okay, bye.